Alright, let's go over the balance patch changes for Team Garou, starting off with Rock. So nothing too major for him. His FAR D is going to have an expanded hitbox forward, so it's going to anti-air a little bit better. Blowback's going to start off 3 frames faster, so that's really good for him. So now you can kind of set up more strings like this. Next up, the hard edge for this. So during the install, the hard edge A version can now cancel into Rising Tackle A version. So let me just demonstrate like that. So a little bit better stuff for Rock, nothing major, because again, you're not going to see Rock players in his climax very often, and it doesn't carry over between rounds. So really minor buff here. EX hard edge, they're going to expand the hitbox downward. I guess it's going to hit more consistently, not that I ever thought that that was an issue. Alright, Rising Tackle, the A version and EX version, they're going to have expanded hitbox forward, so it's going to have more horizontal range. Not too big of a deal here. Rage Run Dunk, so the overhead is going to deal 80 damage instead of 120. So kind of the same as the other overheads, EX overheads in this game. Although I feel like it's less justified for Rock just because it comes out a lot slower than the other ones. I mean, it does come out fast, but I don't think it really needed to share the damage nerf as the others. Next up, Shift. That's just a glitch fix. EX command grab. They're gonna decrease the damage from 120 to 80, and that makes sense because you're getting a wall bounce off of this. So not too big of a deal for Rock Howard. So grand scheme of things, Rock is still pretty much the same character. Nothing major for him. Alright, next up we got Jenet. So she received a lot of buffs despite already being a good character, but we'll take those. So first up, the auto combo, there's a glitch fix, we don't care about this. Dash speed has been increased, so that's really good. Dash is really fast. FAR A is going to have expanded hitbox on crouching characters, so it's going to be more consistent on crouching characters. That's good. FAR C is going to have an expanded hitbox because she now moves forward. And because it's special cancelable, it's going to be a lot more practical than what it used to be. And then next up, Close D, they're going to expand the hitbox on the second hit, and this would sometimes whiff on crouching characters, the second hit, which was pretty annoying, so they're just making it so that it lands more consistently. FAR D, this is going to be 3 frames more active, and it's going to move forward as well, so it's going to be a better anti-air. Crouching A is going to start up 1 frame faster, so it's coming out in 4 frames instead of 5, which is pretty standard across the board now. The sweep's going to be faster as well, so combine this with the crouching A buff, and you have that tighter block string right there that I just showed you. Blowback, standing blowback, so this is going to be 2 frames faster, and you can now cancel it into her command normal. So let me test this. Oops. There you go. So you can do something like that now. And they're also going to increase the recovery by 2 frames, which I don't really notice because it's still coming out pretty fast. Jumping Beast, so this move, which is a really good button and already a cross up, is now going to cross up better because they're going to expand the hitbox backwards. So really good buff for her. Next up, Jumping Blowback and Hyper Jump Blowback. Actually Hop Blowback. So this is going to be more active on the way down now. Yeah, you can press it almost halfway down and it will still connect. So good stuff. And then, I think I skipped this one. Jumping C, increase attack frames by 2 and reduce her box size. So, pretty minor, not that big of a deal. Rolling Thunder, this is a big buff for her. So, this is her Rolling Thunder. So, there's the cancel version, which is this. And then the non-cancel version if you just use it raw. So basically it's saying that you can use both versions in the same combo. So let me see if I can demonstrate this. There you go, I got it 2 times. So really big buff for Jenet because she could extend her combos by a lot. And just with 2 EX moves, 2 EX moves, she does 450 damage, which is way above average. Alright, next up, let's see here. Fast, increase projectile speed and can now OTG. So let me see if I can demonstrate a hard knockdown. Maybe this. There you go. There's the OTG. This is good because now Jenet can end her combos with half a bar and extend the damage for a little bit more. Next up, Crazy Ivan. That's her quarter circle back. Alright, so the C version is gonna go from 80 to 100 damage, expand the hitbox upwards, so it's gonna anti-air a little bit better. I wouldn't do that. And then change opponent blowback on hit. So now it's a hard knockdown. Alright, next one, Gulf Tomahawk, reduce downward. I think that's her quarter circle back kicks. Yep. So for the hard version, they're gonna reduce the downward facing hurt box, so a little bit harder for her to get hit out of the air. She's gonna recover 2 frames faster, and the damage from this is gonna go from 40 to 60 on the second hit. So let me demonstrate the second hit. So that second hit there is gonna do a little bit more damage, and it's now gonna cause a grounded hard knockdown going forward. Alright, so the EX version of this, they're gonna do 2 nerfs. So first of all, it's gonna do 80 damage instead of 120, and they're gonna reduce the distance traveled. So you have to be really close for this move for this to connect. So maybe a range of 3 shorts away. Yep. So kind of the same thing as the other EX overheads in this game. Pretty much they're all receiving the same nerf here. Next up, Harrier B, increase cancel window into attack by 2 frames. So I think that's what's this move again? That's the down in the air. Reduce hurt box for the first and second hits. So basically, you have more time to confirm to your different kicks off of this. Not really a big deal. Harrier B, normal damage. So this next buff is actually good. So this move right here, they're gonna increase the damage of the first, second, and third hits from 20 to 30. So pretty big damage buff for her, for a B Jenet. And then on the light version, if you don't do any follow-up here, they're gonna reduce the fall speed here. So it's just gonna reduce fall speed as in she falls down slower or recovers faster. Because it looks kind of like, actually yeah, she lands a lot faster than what she used to. So you could do something trippy like this. Empty jump low, or just going straight into the grab. So good stuff for B Jenet. Let's see, next up, behind normal version, fix an issue with behind. So that's quarter circle forward. Fix an issue. Okay, that's a glitch fix. Light version, now invulnerable to in-air attack. So this is actually a proper anti-air. Air invincible. And it saw, let's see, reduce attack setup from 12 to 8 frames. So this is actually faster by 4 frames. A lot faster than what it used to be. And as you can see, it also does a hard knockdown now. On the flip side, the landing recovery of this have been greatly increased. So if I'm holding up after this, it takes a lot longer for B Jenet to recover. I think that's a fair trade-off for it being able to anti-air. Next up, the D version of this move. Change blowback up to opponent when hit on the ground on the first hit. Okay, that's not really a big deal. Increase distance traveled. So, okay, so more range. Expand a hitbox forward on the first hit. That doesn't really matter because you can't really combo from anything. And increase buffer frames when breaking. Okay, so this one's good. So now you have more time to do the break, which wasn't that difficult to do in the first place. Actually, overall, this change to the D version is not that big. Alright, EX version, increase in-air and vulnerable frames. So a little bit more invincibility and greatly increased landing recovery. So this move here was a little bit trippy to punish because if I did this by accident or maybe I dropped my combo, a lot of people couldn't punish it. But now I'm holding up here, and as you can see, the recovery on this is a lot longer. So you're gonna be punished if you drop the combo with this. Okay, that's it for B Jenet. She's got a new OTG. Normals have been approved across the board, and yeah, she's got some really good buffs here, especially the changes to her combos. Alright, last up we have Gato. So he's mostly unchanged as well. He's got a couple of nerfs here and there, but ultimately he's still the same character, still got the same combos and everything. So first up, his crouching D. This one's gonna have a little bit less reach as it used to, and it's gonna start recover a little bit slower as well. It's still a really good button, comes out really fast, and it has decent reach. It just won't be as good as it used to be. Jumping C expanded body hurt box, so basically easier to hit him out of the air from this, but it's still a really good button, comes out super fast, and the reach is extremely good for air-to-airs. Jumping D, this is one of the bigger nerfs. They're going to reduce the front side hitbox so it has less horizontal reach here. And also they're going to reduce the lower hitbox for the continued final portion. So this last hit right here, it's going to whiff more likely on crouching characters. So meaning that you have to hit this a little bit deeper here. So see, even though the animation looks like it's going to hit, it will whiff. Look at that. So you just going to have to be more precise using this button. And then finally they added a hurt box before the attack trigger. So again, just easier to hit them out of the air from this. Next up, Quaking Fang. They're going to reduce the cancel buffer for the follow-up. So in other words, you really just have to commit to this. Or just be really good with your confirms. You used to be able to confirm after this really late, and you just won't be able to anymore. For the most part, if you're not good with your confirms, you're just going to have to commit to this. Which again, pretty easy to do, not that major of a nerf, because if you have the confirm to combo into this, then you should be able to confirm off of that. Next up, this one's going to be nerfed a little bit on block to make it more punishable. So a couple things. First of all, the knockback duration has been reduced by 2 frames. The opponent hit stop has been the movement by itself also recovers 4 frames later. So whenever the opponent blocks this, they're definitely going to be able to get their heavy punish. And then lastly, they increased the opponent hit stop by 4 frames on hit, which is not that big of a deal. It just gives you more time to confirm, which you already do. Next up, Arrow Fang EX version. So this move right here, the overhead. So like with any other overhead, they just got to nerf the damage from 120 to 80. I think that's whatever's. Sliding Fang. So this move right here. So they're going to reduce overall frames by 2, meaning it's going to recover a little bit faster and increase attack frames by 2. So this is going to be a little bit more active, pretty minor. I don't think that's going to change the move much. Counter hit Fang. So there's a problem with this move where it counters DPs, that sometimes the DP's invincibility still lasts longer and it will beat through the counter. And so the counter would be beaten out even though you made the right call, but they're gonna make some changes like increase the invulnerability, increase the attack frames so that the attack part after you counter is gotta be more active. That way it's more likely to beat out DPs and reversals that you're trying to bait. Next up, Cypher Fang. They're gonna increase the grab box of this, so it's more likely to let's see if I'm doing a good job here. There we go. So you're gonna be able to grab from further away using that move. Next up, Lightning Fang. So the B version and EX version, they're gonna greatly increase landing recovery. That makes sense. It's a reversal. So if you know, if you're reversing and you whiff this, you should be able to get punished out of it. Previously, the recovery is almost instant, so sometimes you would get grabbed out of this when you're trying to punish, which is kind of silly. Alright, last up, Freeze Fang Max. So let me see which move this is again. Supers. Alright, that's Punch Super. Resolved an issue with during circumstances hits wouldn't register after climax canceling. Okay, that's just a glitch fix. Okay, not that big of a deal. Alright, that's it for Team Garou. Rock and Gato, not so many changes. Jenet, a lot of good buffs for her.